Ohana means family. Family means Ohana. And this movie is pretty good, but broken. Let's get into it, shall we?
Never say I can't do impressions. Finally watched the Lilo and Stitch remake, and I'm pretty late to the party, seeing it on a Tuesday and all, but I'm actually wanted to get a brief look into the eye of people, how they receive this movie. Some people say it's actually really good, it's really awesome, and it's actually a good, faithful adaptation. Some people say it's the worst thing ever because they changed a few things. As usual, people are over-exaggerating, because I'm here to break that tie and tell you what's actually good and actually bad about this movie. Mostly good. First off, this is the best Disney live-action remake in years. And that's hands down. Especially after seeing Snow White. I've seen some shit. But now, Lilo and Stitch, that's a different story altogether. Stitch is adorable. Cute and fluffy. But also, he's identical to his animated counterpart, and all of his quirks are intact. Stitch is always going to feel like Stitch, and I'm so glad they didn't change that for this new live-action remake. Stitch will always be awesome. Still gets into trouble. He's still lovable when he needs to be lovable. He's still fun. Very fun character to watch. And he still drops that intergalactic hard R in this movie, and it's just as crazy here.
Mega la Krista!
And the little girl that got to play Lilo is amazing. She does an absolutely fantastic job. This being her first movie ever, and I feel like she nailed it. She nailed the character of Lilo. She was so great to watch in this movie. I think a lot of people are going to adore her, and I think she'll have a bright future ahead of her. Maya Kealoha, great as Lilo. Even Sydney Agudong, I thought she was great as Nani. But in this movie, they actually put realistic feats in the overall story, because the overall story of Lilo and Stitch is kind of a dark story. Yeah, a sister becomes mother to her little sister because after the tragic death of their parents. It's a big, crazy, messed up situation, and then Stitch just comes in and makes it worse by being the most chaotic little demon in their world. So this movie is going to show you the realistic choices and decisions that go into this overall storyline. I actually thought it was pulled off in the most realistic way ever, not gonna lie. But this is not an exact adaptation. There is a bunch of things that are still intact, most than other Disney live-action remakes. But there are some key moments to have this story be a little sweeter, and they are taken out of this movie for some reason. And also, this movie is kind of in a hurry. It's in a speed run, trying to go through all the key events to get to their new conclusion. And that was kind of jarring. I did not like them speed running the whole time. I thought they were like, let's just get to know these characters more. Yeah, we know them already, but these versions are brand new. I just want to take some time a bit. The movie could have done that. There are going to be some moments where you're like, oh, the animation did it better, because it's inevitable. All their remakes are going to have that question ponder in the audience's head. The animation did it better. Is this what's going to happen? One thing they did change, David has a much smaller role in this movie, played by Kaipo Adodoit. And that role is significantly smaller for David, and he didn't really do much of anything. I feel like the actual animated David is a way better character and does more in their overall story. And this one, he just pops up because there's someone named David in this movie and needs to pop up because he's always had a crush on Nani. And I like how this movie also used some of the OG voice actors. The OG voice actress for Nani is in this movie, and she actually plays the social worker, not really Cobra Bubbles. And I thought that was an interesting switch because I know it's a nod and a wink and a bit of fan service for the original film, but Cobra Bubbles is supposed to be this intimidating social worker who looked like he could live a double life, and that's hardly in here. They changed some continuity just to have a little fan service moment, to have a character play a much bigger role that was actually in the original film, and they threw away the plot points that Cobra Bubbles usually has. Cobra Bubbles in this movie is just a CIA agent, flat out. It's not even a secret. They just tell you. Another character that just kind of gets sidelined. He's just here to be in the movie because he's in the movie, so he's here, but not going to do much of anything. Literally, the spotlight is on Lilo, Stitch, Nani, and her neighbor character. But Amy Hill was actually good. She plays Tutu, their neighbor, and she was actually used for pretty hilarious moments. She's just so darn likable, bro. Oh, and the villains, the so-called villains of the movie. Let's get this out of the way real quick. There's no Gantu in this movie. They already said that there's no guarantee with this movie because it couldn't have worked. Yeah, I call straight up bullshit on that. Because I know the budget of this thing wasn't as high as some other remakes. Like Snow White had a bigger budget than this movie. And so I'm pretty sure they could have put Gontu in this movie, but they needed more money. And there's already a bunch of CGI characters. The budget can only stretch so far. So who else do we have to fill the role of antagonists? Well, Jumba and Pleakley, of course. You know what? Pleakley is fine. He sounds a little weird, but the actor who played him did actually do a good job. It's Jumba. And you're going to hear a lot of this in reviews. You heard it already. But Jumba is the biggest fumble in this movie. Zach Galifianakis plays Jumba, which is already a fucking miscast, bro. Like, why would you make him play Jumba? Jumba has this Russian accent. They say in the original movie that, oh, he's a psychopathic scientist, mad, evil guy. But he never was. He was always such a good guy, a lovable good guy who just happened to have a little bit of a crazy side because of his evil experiments. And not the case in this movie. This movie, they made Jumba a straight up asshole. I didn't like that much. Not only because the casting is like, Jumba will never be that way. Jumba is never going to be a person who will hurt people. Like, this guy straight up goes out of his way to do some of the most grimy stuff ever just to make him a villain. And I'm like, dude, this is so forced. Yeah, I did not rock with that much. It's so hard on you hear the iconic original voice. Then you hear in this one, and it just sounds like this, like a character hijack. And going back to Pleakley, yeah, he's not as zesty as he was in the original. But that's also because of a budgetary reason, because I think the director already showed concept art that he was going to be in drag. But it's just whatever. For me, I'm like, okay, either have it or have it without. And this movie had it without, and I was perfectly fine with it. I'm not going to spoil the ending and the new conclusion they have for this movie. If you guys seen it already and you hear me say this, I'm just going to say it's the most realistic option of this story. It's not as realistic in animation because it's cartoon land and everything can happen in a certain way in cartoon land. Yeah, you can live with a bunch of aliens who raided you and destroyed your house and it's all hunky-dory. Nah, in real life, it's not going to work that way. Yeah, and this movie's kind of pushing it by seeing what's real or not. But for an actual human story, that's exactly the right thing to do. And that's exactly how it would pan out in real life. And you can't really be mad at that. It's a live action remake for a reason. And one thing before I go, Chris Sanders still rocks as Stitch. Always will be. He'll always be Stitch. In the end, guys, the Lilo and Stitch live action remake was such a delightful surprise. It's one of the better live action remakes and actually worthy of the name its source material is from. This was so good to watch, but had some tweaks in it where it made it a little bit worse. But it's not that bad at the end of the day. It's just a more realistic version of this story. And you have your good and your bad. You have the original film that's still good now. No one could take that from you. But you also have a new, delightful, realistic depiction of that story. And you can just switch between them whenever you want. Lilo and Stitch gets a B, baby.